Please welcome the 2008 National Endowment for the Arts National Heritage Fellow, Dr. Michael White on clarinet and Detroit Brooks on banjo.
Hello. I'm Nicole Saylor. I'm director of the American Folklife Center here at the Library of Congress. On behalf of the entire staff, I want to thank you for spending this special occasion with us. We're thrilled to have so many National Heritage Fellows assembled here in one room this afternoon. Yeah? So, to tell you a little bit about us, the American Folklife Center was designated by the U.S. Congress in 1976 as the National Center for Folklife Documentation and Research. We steward archival collections, we create public programs, and we exchange knowledge and expertise. The center is a critical repository for information about the National Heritage Fellowship and provides a public platform to showcase the Fellows' talents. For example, recipients of the National Heritage Fellowship are featured in more than 450 American Folklife Center collections. Staff here have organized about 100 concerts, lectures, interviews, and other public programs with recipients of the National Heritage Fellowship. The center's archives holds administrative documentation about the program, starting back in ranging from 81 to 97. We also have the Bess Lomax Hawes collection. She was the first administrator of the fellowship at the NEA. We've gathered all of these resources into an online guide, which you can access at guides.loc.gov/folklife-heritage-fellows, yes. And though for those of you, for those of you who are here in the audience, we actually have a QR code that you'll find in the displays in the foyer. And so we put together a small exhibit of just a few of the items that we have from the fellows. All right, so I'm happy, speaking of collections, I am very happy to announce that the center has just added, the ink is not dry, we've added another important collection to our fellowship materials. We've just acquired the Tom Pitch collection. He is a documentary photographer. Yeah? Tom, why don't you come up here? So he has worked tirelessly for the past 30 years to photograph over 250 National Heritage Fellows since '91, yes? Thank you. I wanted to brag about him a little bit here. So since 1991, he's worked closely with both the National Endowment for the Arts and with traditional artists. He's followed them around to 45 states and territories. He's spent several days with them, getting to know their work and their traditions. His work has been on display at the Lincoln Center in New York, at multiple Smithsonian museums, and of course here at the library. In 2018, he published a book of photographs called Folk Masters, a portrait of America on Indiana University Press with text by Barry Burgee, who's a past director of the Folk and Traditional Arts program at NEA. So tonight, following this ceremony, you can see some of Pitch's wonderful photography displayed in the mezzanine of the Great Hall. And we are delighted to have his collection and the artists represented in his work available for generations to come. Okay. Chair Jackson, National Heritage Fellows, and our special guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you here to the library. We're delighted to be hosting this annual celebration of artistic creativity and achievement here at the nation's library, one of the most celebrated cultural institutions. The National Endowment for the Arts Heritage Fellowship is the highest honor for traditional artists. The fellows of the 2024 class are an outstanding group who truly embody America's diversity and creative spirit. We're here to honor these great traditional artists who've come from all over the country to represent many communities and traditions. The Library of Congress' mission is to engage, inspire, and inform Congress and the American people with the universal and enduring sources of knowledge and creativity. We're proud of this important collaboration between the National Endowment for the Arts and the Library of Congress because it helps us carry out that mission. Through the collections that we steward here, we're able to document all kinds of artistic genius that's present right here tonight, and we're proud to preserve and make these materials accessible for future generations. So please come visit us again, discover these collections and the many other treasures that are here at the library. In the meantime, please enjoy this very special ceremony at the library. And now it is my pleasure to welcome the chair of the National Endowment for the Arts, Dr. Maria Rosario Jackson.
Thank you, Nikki. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I love it when people respond. It's such a pleasure to be back at the Library of Congress to award the National Endowment for the Arts 2024 National Heritage Fellowships. Thank you to the Library of Congress and its American Folklife Center for hosting us and for your collaboration to maintain the National Heritage Fellowship archives. The archives are essential to ensure that these contributions are available for generations to come and accessible to everyone. The National Heritage Fellowship is the nation's highest honor in folk and traditional arts. Since 1982, the NEA has honored the many contributions of culture bearers who help us more fully capture and tell our nation's unique and varied stories. Together, these stories form a vibrant national narrative, one that uplifts our shared humanity and sparks our curiosity to appreciate our similarities and understand our meaningful differences. These fellows build bridges across communities, traditions, time, and place, to provide us with the opportunity to explore our creativity and make sense of the world around us. We are honored to have you and your loved ones here with us today. Thank you. Before we begin our awards, I'm delighted to acknowledge and thank a few people who have helped make this evening possible. The Librarian of Congress, Dr. Carla Hayden and her staff, Nicole Saylor, Thea Austin, and the entire team at the Library of Congress, American Folklife Center specifically. Please accept our deepest thanks for your dedicated work and passion to preserve and promote living cultural traditions. Thank you to our longtime partners at the National Council for the Traditional Arts, Blaine Wade, Madeline Remez, Becky Hill. Thank you for your outstanding efforts to continue presenting and documenting America's living heritage. And finally, thank you to Aaron Whaler, Jenny Turman, and Lauren DeMarco, Christine Gant and Liz O'Clair, and all the other staff at the National Endowment for the Arts who worked so hard to make this evening possible. And now, I invite the 2024 class of National Heritage Fellows to join me on stage to receive their medals. Aaron Whaler, Folk and Traditional Arts Lead at the NEA, will join me to read the citations. Please join. And please join me in welcoming U.S. Representative Judy Chu of California.
Hello, I'm Congressmember Judy Chu, and I'm thrilled to be with all of you at today's National Endowment for the Arts reception for this year's National Heritage Fellows. It's so wonderful being among such a talented group of individuals truly dedicated to your crafts and the arts. But I'm most excited to be able to honor as a National Heritage Fellow, one of my own constituents from Alhambra, California, June Kuramoto. I am especially thrilled because I've known June and her band Hiroshima for decades. June is a world-renowned master kotoist and sensei. The koto, of course, is a 13-string instrument with origins all the way back to China's Tang Dynasty. It was first introduced to Japan in the 7th and 8th centuries. After June and her family immigrated from Japan to the Los Angeles area, June found consolation in playing the koto, which is the national instrument of Japan. Well, it was immediately clear that June was naturally gifted. In fact, her teacher, who was a renowned kotoist herself, recognized June as a musical prodigy. Over the course of the next 50 years, June would take advantage of that natural talent with hard work and dedication, perfecting her craft to become a kotoist respected across the world. June puts her own unique twists on the traditional sounds of the koto by blending it with American jazz instruments in her groundbreaking jazz band, Hiroshima. I've been a fan of this band for decades. Its unique sounds has captivated so many of us in the Los Angeles area. June's music bridges different cultures, sounds, and traditions into one beautiful composition. June has not only garnered global acclaim as a master kotoist, but has also inspired so many in the younger generations, particularly young Sansei or third-generation Japanese Americans, to take up the koto themselves. And it's no surprise that June has already received recognitions from elected officials, community leaders, the Smithsonian Institution, and now the National Endowment for the Arts. And I'm so excited to be able to be part of honoring her achievement as a National Heritage Fellow. So June, as you join the ranks of artists like B.B. King and Mavis Staples, yes. As you receive the nation's highest honor in folk and traditional arts, I want to commend you for your unyielding dedication to your craft and to your capacity to inspire future generations to continue your efforts in immortalizing the koto. Congratulations, June, and to all this year's National Heritage Fellows.
I'm sorry, I have to read. I know I am not the first. There were many trailblazers before me, and hopefully more after me. At the same time, there were those who surrounded me, held me up, and some even carried me through my life's challenging journey in quest to find identity and pursue my dreams. Being an immigrant coming to America with only my mother and 3 siblings, we were poor, faced with many hardships. I did not have the resources nor the opportunities to study Western music, only koto. But not having these opportunities turned to be blessings, as there were no known limits or boundaries. But having the foundation of being classically trained gave me confidence and strength when criticized and frowned upon. I believe every child should have a right to education, including the arts, music, dance, creative expression, and the assurance of Mother Earth to be intact. My plea is for everyone to do their part to help give this to them. Receiving this honor, I do not feel worthy. The same feeling I had when I received my degree in Koto from my teacher in the Miyagi School of Koto. When I expressed that to her, she said, "Then I must work hard to live up to it." I hope I live up to this prestigious honor. Thank you foremost to my daughter, Lonnie, who had to live, as I think she must have felt, like an abandoned child, while her father and mother toured all over the world with Hiroshima. My mother, for her unconditional love and support, with her deep wisdom and compassion. To Dan and the band members giving me the opportunity to step out of the box. To Janice for believing me and nominating me. To the people who wrote the letters of recommendation, Reverend Moss, Chris Ihara, Shirley Muramoto Wong, Akira Nakano, and Patricia and Emily Kinaga, and especially my family and friends who have been there for me. Thank you, NEA, for recognizing and bringing to light all the precious people with their devotion to their art and heritage, and of course, NCTA too. I am honored and humbled to stand with you all. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming U.S. Representative Teresa Ledger Fernandez of New Mexico.
Oh my goodness, every time I had the wonderful honor of being able to be here last year, because I am very proud. You will notice that there are 2 awards for New Mexico, our beautiful little state. And I always say I'm Congresswoman Teresa Ledger Fernandez, and I have the honor of representing the beautiful and beautifully diverse 3rd Congressional District of Nuevo Mexico. And it is wonderful because we are a state that believes in the creative industry. 1 in 10 paychecks in New Mexico comes from our creative industry. We honor herencia y cultura, we honor culture and heritage. We realize it is part of who makes us who we are. It makes us proud to be New Mexicans, whether you're from Navajo or Zuni or Taos or Las Vegas, where I'm from. And when you are proud of who you are, you can be curious about others. And curiosity is one of our human values that is overlooked, but so valuable. And so I am honored to be able to be here to present this medal to Susan Hudson, who calls Sheep Springs, New Mexico home, and I know that she will give us indeed oops, I switched the order, but I'm sorry. I'm supposed to give it to the Zuni Oya maidens first. Oh, shoot. Sorry. That's what happens. I'll give you yours in just a minute. But the Zuni Oya maidens, so the Zuni Pueblo is in my district. And the Zuni Oya maidens, oh my God, the critical role they play in Zuni culture, establishing themselves with the beautiful everything that they're wearing today as ambassadors, not just for Zuni, but for all Pueblo communities, and proving that traditions are not only necessary for the mind, but frame future generations. And I would like to say that I think that what you are offering us is indeed blessings. Your culture and what you bring us are blessings, and those blessings flow to all of us. And so I want to thank you for the blessings that you give to not only the people of New Mexico, but the people of the United States and the people of the world. And I thought that it would be wonderful to make sure that not only do you get this award, but that we enshrine forever in the congressional record where the very first speech of President Washington was recorded and the speeches we gave this morning are recorded. We will also have recorded in the congressional record, which will be kept here at Congress, the following. Mr. Speaker, I rise to honor the Zuni Oya maidens for the critical role they play in Zuni culture, establishing themselves as ambassadors for all Pueblo communities, and proving that traditions are not only necessary for the soul, but for all future generations. The Zuni Oya maidens perform a delicate dance that includes jars or oyas balanced on top of their heads. It's breathtaking to watch. For this beautiful dance, they have been rightfully honored as 2024 National Endowment for the Arts National Heritage Fellows. The dance brings the beauty of music together with colors, jewelry, and clothing to bring beauty to our world. There is a power in this ceremony that flows before the singing, the drums, and the rattles. The Zuni songs remind us how small we are in this world, and that we need to remember the origins and culture of our people and our homes. I'm honored to record in the congressional record the significance of these matriarchs. Where there are powerful women, there are powerful families and communities. Let the traditions of the Zuni people ring forever in the halls of Congress. We're going to, we have lots of medals too, but we're going to place on 2 and others will receive them later. Congratulations.
So representing the Zuni Oya Maidens, we have Loretta Bayuka, and Juanita Ida Akayo. And we also want to recognize the group. We have the rest of the group on the front row.
Good evening, everyone. This is such an honor and a blessing, especially for the members of our group. I am just so amazed and really, really joyous at this moment. I want to thank our mother, because her name is Cornelia Bawani. She's 86 years old. And she is the reason why we are here. She taught us everything that we know. She taught us how to sing and how to dress and how to dance and how to conduct ourselves as women. And she's always taught us, the one message that she always taught me that I remember is wherever we travel, wherever we perform, that we need to treat everyone with respect and make lots of friends. But most of all, I really want to thank all my nieces and my grandnieces for their willingness to be a part of this group, and my sisters. So, elakwa, and thank you.
I'm so short. I'll move to this one. I'm really indebted to our ancestors, They've passed on the knowledge that we pass on to our young women, to our children. We have learned so much from our ancestors, their stories, their oral traditions that they have passed on through our songs, our dances, our cultural beliefs. We showcase that when we dance, paying homage to our ancestral women who centuries ago used to carry pots on their heads to give water for life-giving efforts every day. We give thanks every single day when we get up in the morning. We give thanks for all the things we receive. Our ancestors taught us that. The blessings that we receive, we give to everybody when we perform. We ask that they travel in safety, that you get to your homes, that you pay respect to each other, that the blessings that you receive, you pass on to everybody else. I'm so thankful to be here today. All the entities that have given this small Pueblo woman a chance to be a national treasure has really, really impacted on all of us. I give thanks to my family that are down here because they do a lot for us when they travel with us. I give thanks to my family at home, my son Cody. He takes care of my mom when I'm not there. He never asks me anymore, Mom, how long will you be gone? Because he knows I'll come home to him. I give thanks to my nephew DJ, who also picks up the reins when we're not there. All of us have extended family members that support our travels and our endeavors, and we are indeed very, very blessed. Elakwa to everybody who has helped us on this journey. There's so many people to thank. I do want to thank Thomas Richardson, Blaine Wade, Becky Hill. Becky, you're the bomb. And of course, all the fellows that are up here on stage with us. We've created some really wonderful friendships with them. And I have so many people I want to thank, but most of all, I want to thank June, because she said at one point when I said, you're so talented, and she goes, no, we're all talented. So elakwa to everybody that got us here today. Thank you so much.
I would like to welcome Susan Hudson to the front. From Sheep Springs, New Mexico, the daughter and granddaughter of women who were forced to learn sewing as girls in boarding schools where there was little tolerance for mistakes. A maker who re-envisioned traditional star quilts into contemporary ledger art quilts that honor the hardships of her ancestors and illustrate the proud history of the Navajo and Diné people. A co-founder of the Navajo Quilt Project, which engages with the community, makes quilts for giveaways and traditional ceremonies, and empowers others to start their own businesses. In recognition of her contribution to the art of pictorial quilting, the National Endowment for the Art honors Susan Hudson.
Hi, Yate, Susan Huttonista, Kiani Nista, Dishini Basha Shin Tabahada Shache Nakaida Nationali. I am from Sheep Springs, New Mexico, the great Navajo Nation. I am a Diné woman. I am a Kia Ani. I was born in East LA. We were dirt poor. And it's interesting because in the 80s, I met a gentleman and I ended up tutoring over there at Dolores Mission. Homeboys. Homeboys, yeah. Homeboys. Gotta give a shout out to all of them. How all this started was a man named Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell told me my quotes were boring. Well, of course, being the female that I am, I was like, I'm gonna show him. So what I did was, him and I talked after we had a few words, and it went my way, of course. So we talked about ledger art, and it's evolved from there. I should not be standing here receiving this award. I should not be having to make these quilts to talk about the atrocities that happen to our people. I should not be having to make quilts to bring to the attention the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. I should not be making quilts talking about the trauma and the brutality and the atrocities that happen to the children in boarding schools. I should not have to be telling our stories of forced removal, being put in camps, being starved, my people dying from illnesses, diseases. I should not be here. But you know what? The world's not pretty. Government's not pretty, and religious organizations are not pretty. I'm gonna stand here, and I'm gonna make my quilt, and I'm gonna stand tall, and I'm gonna stand proud, and I am gonna tell the stories of our history, and you're not gonna take away our voices. I'm gonna stand here and tell stories about our ancestors, and especially, I'm gonna tell the story of my mother, Dorothy Woods, who survived the brutality and atrocities that happened to her in Toilina boarding school. I am the link to the past. I am here. I am the link to the future. I have grandchildren, I have children. My descendants will be telling our stories. My descendants will remind your descendants of the things that happened to our people. Think about that. But I appreciate the award. Didn't see that one coming, huh? You never know what I'm gonna say. My kids over there are cringing. Please, Mom, please. But to the young ladies, the young men, stand strong, tell our stories, know who you are, and don't let anybody degrade you for who you are, no matter what color, what gender, what beliefs you have. We are as one. We were born innocent. We learn to hate. Change the world. Remember, what did you do today to honor your ancestors? I honored my ancestors. I'm up here. And to all the people in the, hey, I gotta say this one. To the ex-husbands, to the ex-boyfriends, and to all the people that said I was never gonna do it, I was never gonna be something, I'm here! I am here! Everybody safe travels, walk in beauty, and to acknowledge the indigenous peoples whose lands we are now walking on. I thank them Because when I say our names and I say my children's names and my grandchildren's names, when they come back to this land, they're going to recognize them and remember them. Okay?
Please join me in welcoming U.S. Senator John Boozman of Arkansas.
Thank you all. This is really a raucous, fun crowd. I'm used to being in the Senate. It's pretty stodgy over there. But I want to thank you for the opportunity to join you to celebrate such a distinguished group of individuals. This is a fitting location to recognize the achievements of the National Heritage Fellowship honorees. The collections in this building preserve the stories of our history and the men and women who have shaped our country and continue to make it so exceptional. I'm especially proud to help acknowledge and congratulate Pat Johnson of Pocahontas, Arkansas. As a lifelong resident of Randolph County, Pat has made it her mission to preserve local African American history. There's no better example than her vision and leadership in creating the Eddie Mae Herron Center, a space that allows residents to connect with the past and learn about the contributions of African Americans to our nation's fabric. Located in a former African American church and segregated one-room schoolhouse, the center is named after Eddie Mae Herron, Pat's teacher when she was a student at the school. That is a testimony to the impact of a single educator on the lives of so many young Arkansans, helping inspire lifelong learning and appreciation for African American culture. What stands out to me is Pat's determination and dedication in her pursuit to expose more and more in her community to its history, because embracing the past gives future generations a better understanding about the experiences and influences of their ancestors. Through artifacts, exhibits, and pictures, Pat Johnson is uplifting the stories of the men and women whose legacies still shape life there today, as well as impact our country. For more than 2 decades, she has devoted her life to educating her family, friends, and neighbors about the path of nearly 200 years of African American history and culture in Northeast Arkansas, and she isn't letting her foot off the gas. I appreciate her tireless work to curate these stories, traditions, and heritage that might otherwise be lost to history. She is most deserving of the Bess Lomax Hall's National Heritage Fellowship for her years of active engagement and leadership. I'm confident she will continue to play a critical role in preserving the past to educate the future. Congratulations so very much. We're so proud of you in Arkansas.
I'm just really overwhelmed. I'm deeply honored to be here tonight to accept this award. This is a once-in-a-lifetime honor, and I never could have imagined that I would be recognized in this way for simply working to preserve something that I love as much as I love the Eddie Mae Herron Center. This was the place where I and all the African American children in the community went to school when we could not go to the mainstream public school. This was the place where for many, many years, kids like me learned our studies from the school's only teacher, Miss Eddie Mae Herron. In that one-room school where she taught us in grades 1 through 8, and where she even taught our parents how to read and to write in the evenings before there were even night classes. I want to acknowledge, in accepting this wonderful award, the efforts of so many others, including groups and organizations without whom I would not be standing here tonight. This includes the board of the Eddie Mae Herron Center, Black River Technical College, the city of Pocahontas, and countless individuals. They have supported all of the work that has been done. They have supported the work to restore the building built as an AME church in 1919, to nominate the building to the National Registry of Historic Places, to secure funding to support our work and our activities at the center, to bring studies of all ages to the center and to the college where they can learn about the African American heritage in our predominantly white community, to educate the public about and to preserve the African American history of Randolph County through our local genealogists, to serve as a meeting place for annual events, bringing together all ethnic groups where we have conversation, where we can meet, where we can sit down and eat together and understand each other, and better understand our shared heritage. Last but not least, I want to thank Dr. Lauren Willett with the Arkansas Folk and Traditional Arts of the University of Arkansas for nominating me for this award for the Best Lomax Hughes National Heritage Fellowship. Thank you all so much.
That was wonderful.
I would like to invite Brill Barrett to the front. From Chicago, Illinois, a tap dancer who learned from 20th century legends of tap, including Dr. Jimmy Slide, Dr. Bunny Briggs, Dr. Leonard Reed, and his mentor, Mr. Taps. A teacher and co-founder of Mad Rhythms, short for Making a Difference Dancing Rhythms Organization, where he helps young people grow through the art of tap. A historian and storyteller who uses tap to share the struggles and victories of generations past and present. In recognition of his contribution to the legacy of Black tap dance, the National Endowment for the Arts honors Brill Barrett.
You're welcome to that.
We could never afford chains where I'm from, but guess what? I'm going back rocking something real nice. How y'all feeling today? Y'all good? All right, I brought notes up here with me too. I just put them on my phone. I'm trying to be all high tech. So I want to start off by thanking, of course, the Creator. Without connection to the Creator, let me say this. I say to people all the time that TAP is my religion. And I said it in a church one time. And it's the first time I ever heard the word blasphemy. I did not even know what it meant at the time. But when I further explained that improvisation is when you make it up as you go along. It's when your thoughts, your process, your ideas, if you had a bad day, your emotions, all those things go into creating your art. But if you ask me where the steps come from, I can't tell you because I don't make them up. Technique has taught me, my teachers, everybody has taught me technique and execution. But where the creative, rhythmic ideas come from, to me, that's a direct connection to God. So when I say TAP is my religion, it is just that I'm saying TAP is how I access the greater force that has made all this possible. So I got that out. Okay. So of course I want to thank the Creator. I want to thank my mom who made it all possible. See, you talk about your mom and then it's gone. I said I wasn't going to cry. I was like, real G's cry. Real G's cry. But my mom, single mom, west side of Chicago my whole life. But she made sure that when I showed her I had a love and appreciation for something, which was TAP. Out of everything I studied, everything, she was doing like most moms, just keep me busy to keep me out of trouble. And it worked for the most part. But she was just doing what she had to do. And when I was exposed to TAP, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with theater, arts, creativity, everything. But TAP was the thing that as I did it more and more, I wanted to do nothing else. And I remember at a time when I was in a program at the Better Boys Foundation, which is called the BBF Arts Center now, west side of Chicago, my neighborhood, North Lawndale. It is where we went to stay out of trouble pretty much. I was there when I wasn't in school, I was at the center. But I remember the TAP teacher, I didn't know what a contracted or subcontract program was. The TAP teacher was only there for a certain amount of time. So when that TAP teacher's contract was up, that was Mr. Carlton Smith, he left and went back to wherever he was teaching normally. And I told my mom, I want to keep tapping. And she was like, well, it's not here anymore and it's not free and I can't afford it. And so I said, but I really want to keep doing it. And so every Saturday we would get on the trains in Chicago. It took 2 hours to get from the west side of Chicago where I live to the north side where Mr. Carlton Smith was teaching his classes. And it didn't even dawn on me that she had already told me she couldn't afford it, but we were still going. And so That's right. I saw her giving, counting out $5. And change to pay the small amount he asked. And because of that, I could do this. And because of that, I know that I have a responsibility to do it for those that come after me. Sometimes people ask me, why do you choose? I didn't choose. It was laid out for me. It was done for me. I have to do it in return. I started Mad Rhythms in 2001. Making a Difference Dancing Rhythms as literally my way to give back through the art form of tap. And for 23 years now, that organization has been running loud and proud. I didn't know what I was doing. Mind you, no, I did not go to school for this. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I had to do this. And so through a lot of trials and tribulations, I don't have to go into all that. Y'all don't need no more tears. But through a lot of stuff that transpired, I could always see the light at the other end because of tap dance, because of what it allowed. It allowed me to come out of my neighborhood. It allowed me to meet Mr. Taps, who was the gentleman who became my mentor. It allowed me to perform in the subways of Chicago at 8 and 9 years old for people who I'd never met. It was some of the first times I got to really interact with people outside of my community, and I learned to entertain and to talk to people and get to know people, and all those things because of tap dance, but also because people saw in me and lent a helping hand, shared the knowledge. Sometimes when people get rich, we want to ask them how they got their money. We want to ask for money, but sometimes you should just ask, would you share your story with me? I started meeting a lot of the great tap dancers through history. I met Dr. Jimmy Slide, one of the greats. Dr. Leonard Reed, one of the greats. Dr. Jenny Lagon, one of the greats. And every last one of them shared with me. I learned more sitting at their feet listening than I could ever have learned in a dance studio or a classroom with them. So if you do whatever you do and you love it and young people ever ask you about it, share. Share. All those stories stick with us. And then as we come up, we start to repeat those stories. So I want to really thank Yul Ilea Stites, better known as Yaz, who nominated me. Someone who worked with me and saw that I was worth nominating. I want to thank Aunt Diane. The world may know her as Diane Walker, but she's my aunt. I mean, not really, but yes. Tap aunt, however you want to say, play cuz, you know how that thing go. But one of the leading tap dancers in the field. And so when asked for a recommendation letter to write to me, she wrote it. And for me, the honor was even the yes. Lisa Latouche, another tap dancer from Canada, who I met when she was like 11 years old, and I was touring with Riverdance, and I was teaching workshops, and this young lady took my workshop. And at that time, there was not a tap scene in Canada. And so together we started Mad Rhythms Canada, because I was like, I don't have to just do this for the people here. I can do this for people I meet anywhere. I was gonna start Mad Rhythms Germany. I was gonna start, like anywhere I traveled, I was willing to start a company to share and keep this standard of excellence alive and accessible to people where they were. Mark Yanley, a Chicago tap dancer, who also wrote a recommendation for me, and in his own right, running his own company, his own non-for-profit, took the time. So I'm a firm believer in honoring people for taking time. Of course, when we have money, we can give, but sometimes when you don't, all you have is your time. And when you give that, it's even more valuable. It's more precious. My sister, Star Dixon, she was tap dancing she say I made her tap dance before she learned to walk. I don't think that's the way it happened. But she is also the reason when I started Mad Rhythms as a volunteer organization to serve young black boys who look like me and were from my neighborhood and who came up in situations like me. It's my little sister that said, how come it gotta be all boys? And so what did I tell her? I said, welcome. Because Andrew Carr, who's one of the youngsters, you get old when you say youngsters, I just want to say that. One of the youngsters who I taught coming up, He had been a student at the Mad Rhythms Tap Academy since he was like 4 years old. He's now a professional tap dancer, just like my sister Star Dixon is. She travels the world. He is right now about to debut his very own show. At 19 years old, he wrote, produced, created, did all the choreography at 19 years old, and that show is going to debut almost 2 weeks from now. And so he also took the time to write a recommendation for me. And of course, I want to, last but not least, thank Jimalita Tillman, who's the Executive Global Director of the Harold Washington Cultural Center in Chicago, which has been the home for me and Mad Rhythms for the last 14 years. And when I went, I don't, sometimes when you go to people and tell them what your visions are, if they can't see them, they'll tell you it's not possible. So it's very rare that you find people in your life that when you share your vision, they say, I see your vision and I want to help you reach your vision. So Mad Rhythms has been headquartered in Bronzeville in Chicago at the Harold Washington Cultural Center for the last 14 years, and it has been one of the best partnerships and artistic collaborations that one could ever ask for. I'm a firm believer that if you're not doing anything to solve the problem, stop complaining. I know that we got problems in Chicago, trust me. I see the same news y'all do. But the difference is I see the same news y'all do, but I also live in the city. And I see those young people wanting something, needing something, wishing anybody would just take a bag of change and take them to a class. So at my studio, we have a wall of tap shoes, 2 walls now, that all the shoes are donated by the community, anybody who wants to donate. And every kid that comes in, whether they can afford it or not, they get tap shoes. And that little gesture says, what you can't afford will not stop you from what you can become. So I'd like to thank you all. I'm appreciative, I'm mad appreciative, get it? See what I did there? Of this award. And a lot of times it's not easy for us that do what we do to take this attention for it, because we do it because we love it and we're called to it. So I just thank you all. I thank the NEA for taking a moment and recognizing what I do and that I'm gonna continue to do it. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Fabian Deborah to please join me on stage. From Los Angeles, California, a first-generation Mexican-American and self-taught artist who used his art as an outlet from his incarceration, struggles with substance abuse, and its impact on his mental health. A healing arts educator and founder of the Homeboy Art Academy, committed to sharing his gifts by teaching others with similar lived experiences. A public art muralist whose paintings are showcased throughout the United States and abroad. In recognition of his contribution to the Chicano art movement, the National Endowment for the Arts honors Fabian Deborah.
All right. What's cracking? Let me try to get my little thing ready real quick. Growing up, I was a curious kid. I loved watching cartoons, fascinated by how the characters would move. One day I said to myself, maybe I should try drawing Mickey Mouse. I showed it to my mom, Maria, and she didn't believe I had done it. But when I drew it again, right in front of her and my dad, Humberto, they realized I had a gift. This gift became my refuge. Living as a first-generation Mexican-American Chicano in Boyle Heights meant facing barriers, gangs, drugs, and violence. All of these things threatened to dull my dreams, but no matter how dark it got, I held on to my art. Expelled from school system for my creativity, then graffiti art became my new path. It was a form of expression, but even graffiti came with labels. It wasn't art to them. It was vandalism. I felt stuck like every door was closing in front of me. And then at age 10, I met Father Greg Boyle. He saw me not as a troublemaker or a kid heading down the wrong path, but as an artist. He told me to go home and draw something for him. That simple act unlocked something in me. He believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. It was like he gave me permission to dream again. Later received by the East Los Streetscapers, the Chicano mural movement pioneers, Wayne Healy and David Boteo. They embraced me as is, with no judgment, and I became one of the youngest members of the East Los Streetscapers and that movement. Through them, I learned muralism wasn't just about painting walls. It was about telling the stories of struggles, social injustice, and resilience, stories of our people. It became my responsibility to preserve and amplify the voices, not just for myself, but for my entire community. Today, I continue on this mission. I continue to paint murals throughout the city of Los Angeles and beyond, holding on to what I discovered back then. And now, I am the founder and executive director of the Homeboy Art Academy, an extension of Homeboy Industries. We provide gang-involved youth and young adults with the opportunity to experience the same healing power of the art, the power that has saved me. This acknowledgement from the National Endowment of the Arts Heritage Fellow is a true testament to how one's belief and commitment to preserving the Chicano mural movement is vital. It's proof that the power of the arts can create a ripple effect of hope for future generations. I thank you. And special shout outs goes to my beautiful mother, Maria Deborah, who stood with me through her unconditional love, no matter what space I was in, from the principal's office to the probation department to the LA County Jail. My jefita was always standing there. My father, Humberto Deborah, rest in peace, Dad, and thank you for guiding me from the spirit world. I want to thank all my loving family, and especially my wife, Elizabeth Cuevas, tú eres puro corazón, and my life, my children, for standing with me through my life's journey. To Father Greg and my Homeboy Industries family and community, I thank you. Homeboy, they're here right here with me. I also want to take the time to thank the Department of Arts and Culture in Los Angeles, Laura Miera for nominating me to the NEA, Michaela for your support, and special thanks to my friend and author Luis Rodriguez of Always Running for writing that letter of support, to Rosana and Ofelia Esparza, from a fellow NEA honoree from Tonali Studios in East Los Angeles. My son Fabian Jr., who is accompanying me here today, I love you too, son. And finally, I want to acknowledge the young adults of the Homeboy Art Academy, the Art Gang. You give me life every day, and for that, I am grateful to you all. And thank you all. Y que sí se puede, sí se pudo, y sí se puede. Art is life.
I would like to invite Rosie Flores to join me, please. From Austin, Texas, a woman playing in the male-centric world of rock and country. a widely respected lead guitarist in a string of notable bands who helped lay the foundation for the alt-country movement and performed along the cowpunk circuit. The first Latina to crack Billboard's country music chart, whose connection to the music scene in Austin led to the city proclaiming Rosie Flores Day in 2006. In recognition of her contribution to rockabilly and country music, the National Endowment for the Arts honors Rosie Flores.
Oh, picture first. Citation, medal, photo, remarks. All right, I'll get it straight. Oh my gosh, this is such an amazing honor to be here with all these amazing other artists. And excuse me, I've been raging. I have a little bit of hoarseness here. But it's been such a great experience to be here with everybody and to accept an honor like this that I never really thought a little girl from San Antonio, Texas could ever get. My parents moved me to San Diego, and I went from San Diego with an all-girl band to Los Angeles and worked with other girl bands and worked with some amazing musicians in Los Angeles and started recording and made lifelong friends with amazing musicians that I could have never gotten here without without their help. When I was a young girl, I knew that I wanted to be a singer, and my first teacher was my teenage brother, and he said, "Wow, you're picking this up so fast." And I said, "Well, it's easy for me to learn because I love it so much." I was so passionate about it, playing the guitar and singing and writing songs. And, afterwards, I got songbooks by Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, and my parents were so supportive. My father bought us gear, drums and amplifiers and everything, and all of a sudden I had a job to do. I had to learn how to play songs so I could make money to pay for the bill. And Dad said, "Get to work, girls. Your payment's $80 a month." And we were like really okay with that. And so we played little rec halls, and we played officers clubs in San Diego. And we got to work, and I've never looked back. 16 years old to 74, I've been doing this for 58 years, and I'm still loving it. And though I was, shy, I began to find my confidence through communicating my songs, making people laugh, making people dance with my music through rockabilly and country, and writing songs that make people feel something. It's such a gift to be able to write and communicate to people through song and through guitar playing, improvisation. I've got this amazing band in Austin now, the Talisman, and we've been recording, and we're going to have a record come out pretty soon. I've been working also with the Blue Moon Jazz Quartet, working with Jim Stringer, and it's just, to me, I just feel like the luckiest person in the world that I can make music, with such great musicians, and to be, supported by my family, who everybody's here tonight. My nieces and nephews, my sister. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Audrey for helping us get here. And I want to thank my dear friend, Emily Marks, for believing in me and helping me get nominated tonight. And to all the people that wrote the most amazing letters that believed in me, I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I just love you all so much. And thank you most especially to the National Endowment of the Arts. They're such an amazing group. And this is an incredible award. And now I'm a national treasure. God bless. Thank you so much.
Please join me in welcoming U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski.
I'm looking down the row, saying, where's Trimble? I can't tell you how honored that I am to be here today in Washington, D.C., to honor an elder, a treasured elder, a veteran, a respected culture bearer, and a man who is so pure in heart and soul, and the wisdom that he speaks comes from ages of experience, from listening, not only listening to others around him, but listening to the land, listening to the animals, listening to all that surrounds him and that has guided him. So that he is in this place, he is in our nation's capital, being recognized with these other extraordinary culture bearers, artists in their own rights. But as Alaskans, we are overwhelmed with pride that Dr. Reverend Trimble Gilbert has been recognized in this way. I learned very early in the year that Dr. Trimble would receive this honor. And they asked me to keep it secret. And I said, certainly. And I said, is there a way that I can just share with him? And they said, yes, you can tell him, but he has to keep it secret. And this was January of this year. And he lives in Arctic Village. Arctic Village is about as remote and isolated as most any village in America. And I had an opportunity to fly out to Arctic Village, where the sun doesn't start to come up until about 10:30 or 11, maybe, and then goes down by about 2 o'clock. And I think I was there for all of those few hours of daylight. in order to be able to recognize him in the community tribal hall and to reveal the secret to the people there in Arctic Village. It was pretty special. It was pretty special, but he is extraordinarily special as well. And the people of our state know it, and now the people of the United States of America know it. So thank you for this extraordinary tribute and recognition from the NEA. This is extraordinarily special, but know that as your senator, as your representative in Congress, you honor us in ways that we can't even begin to express. So I'll just express it with my genuine thanks and a hug.
Thank you very much, Senator McCoskey. Yes, I've been waiting many years to get this award. I don't even remember how the years I was in Port Townsend. That's where all the fellows are from all over there. And I was there for 3 years, and then they asked me to get this award, but I didn't apply for it. But the last few years, it's somebody, I'm getting a lot of support from Alaska. And so I'm really, really happy about this. Hopefully, we've been working with children's music. In Alaska, when it's cold weather, it's really hard to catch a plane to another village, and when it's 30 below. But one of the ladies, she's my boss, and including my wife too. But my wife was helping us with the rosin. Before we start the program, she always rosin all the bowls. And hopefully she could watch me tonight when I'm here. So I'm a kind of person. I was born. And I was born in the way I'm feeling about the people, different nationality and different cultures. I've been traveled to different places a lot of times, and first thing I got into the community, first thing I need to know that their cultures. So I study a little bit before I start out. How did they survive in that country, and what kind of language they spoke? So as soon as I understand how they survive and how they live on that country, and then I have to keep my language, talking to the people. So especially the children, when you get into this other villages, there's a lot of children all over the world. Sometimes you get into the communities and we don't know too much about the life there. But as soon as you meet this adult or either children, they identify you, kind of person you are. Then they start out with you, walk around with you to show everything they got in the village. They try to tell you a story about what they're doing. And kind of food they've been eating, and you have to respect that. So we have to understand how they live, kind of people they are, and then they try to do something about what's going on in the village, what kind of resource they have. The reason they want to tell you about that, especially the teachers, and sometimes teacher arrive, they walk around with teacher and they try to show them everything, what's going on. And then they're telling a story to the teachers. So there's a respect. So I respect different people and the nations. I feel great about people, different language. The way I feel about you are my neighbor. From my bottom heart, I respect every person in this world. That's what my mom told me to do. She told me also, don't get in front of the people. If somebody needs to sit down, go ahead, give your chair to the person. That's really, I keep it in my heart to work with the people and spoke to the people all the time. Hopefully, I live way up north. I lived northern part of Alaska all my life. I do know what's going on all over the world every day. When something good going on in the world, I feel good about it. My wife and I, we're happy. So we live in the great country of the United States. I was in the reserve one time I'm retired from that early day. When I see my flag, United States flag, I have to salute it. Flagpole is another one. We are very lucky to live in the great state of the United States. Hopefully, all the people and the nation of the people work together in unity. That's what we need. I was born 1935. I remember since 1940. I'm 89 years old. Every day is a good day for me to live. What can I do to help the United States? The first thing, I'm the veterans. I do want to help our state of the United States. So I did. But I'm getting older and older, but I want to do, what can I do to help my people? How about the children? Millions of people we have in the United States, especially the children and elder. They need to hear the sound, good words. If something dropped a pin over there, we could hear them. So Creator puts very special one right here, and we can hear something. We can see 20/20 visions. We can smell, we can taste something. All that is the same unity, people. And our heartbeat of nations, heartbeat is all same. So the way we should understand each other, we should become one nation of the United States. Many times I want to be here and talk to the people, leadership. So we can start out with a better future for the generations to come. We can teach them now, not later. So I'm very glad to be here. I asked my grandson, there are two of them right here, and one my granddaughter here. The reason I want them to come with me, hopefully they can start the way I did for the people, so that we can be happy together at all the time, and we are the citizens of the United States. So God bless you all.
I'd like to invite Todd Goings to the podium. From Marion, Ohio, an expert wood carver keeping a century-old interactive art form alive. Founder of Carousels and Carvings, a full-service artisan carousel workshop with the expertise to restore the entire carousel, the carvings, frames, and mechanics. Unique features of carousels and carvings works may include unusual animals and wheelchair-accessible chariots. The Carousel Doctor, who travels the country every spring for pre-season carousel checkups at the country's zoos, amusement parks, and fairgrounds. In recognition of his contribution to the revival, restoration, and creation of carousels, the National Endowment for the Arts honors Todd Goings.
Thank you, everybody. First, let me thank the NEA for seeing fit to bring me all the way here and include me in this wonderful group of people here that are just amazing to me. I can't believe it, all of you. It's been a great few days spending with you, learning about your cultures and your own disciplines. It humbles me, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. You know, so I don't stand up here alone. I didn't get here by myself. You know, I've had a lot of people help me, and certainly my family and my coworkers and friends from back home. You know, my mother and father who somehow seemed fit to help me start out my world of woodworking so many years ago. And my mother's here with me tonight in the audience. Very happy that everybody was able to come and attend, and I'm very happy that my son and daughter-in-law, Kyle and Nita, have been able to come and join the shop and help start carving and hopefully carry the light farther down the line to keep carousels spinning for everybody to ride. And there's always that one person that's behind us, you know, that never gives up on us. And I don't know why she's put up with me for all this time, but Rhonda Ray has been in my cheering section for a long time, and I wouldn't be here without her either. And then the people at my shop, you know, who spend time, give up their time to come see fit again to work with me and use their disciplines and skills to help carry carousels on to the next generation. You know, I couldn't do it without all of them as either. So I thank you all. Thank you all for being here tonight, and I thank you all. Thank you.
I would like to invite Socheta to the podium, please. From Washington, D.C., a master of Cambodian dance who is a leading teacher of Cambodian dance roles and a performer at theaters, festivals, and museums throughout the Washington, D.C. region. A costume and crown maker whose work has been worn by Cambodian royalty and featured on Broadway. A playwright, choreographer, and director of popular Cambodian theater productions. In recognition of his contribution to Cambodian dance and costume making, the National Endowment for the Arts honors Socheta Ung.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. First, I'd like to thank you for National Endowment of Art giving me opportunity to get an award. Also, thank you for them giving me a chance to meet all my new friends. And thank you for all the staff. All of you so wonderful. Help us for the last few days feel so at home. Thank you again for all of you. First, I'd like to thank you, John, but unfortunately, he's so busy playing music out at sea in Ireland, so he couldn't be here tonight. So, John, thank you again. Since you're not here, I still thank you. And next, I'd like to thank you to all the people helping write a wonderful letter, recommend me, and I thank you from bottom of my heart. You know who you are. And also, I'd like to thank you to the Cambodia Temple, provide me the space to help let me teaching my class, my art, all those 30, 40 years. Thank you, the Cambodia Temple. Thank you. And also I'd like to thank you, CCD, the Cambodia Committee Day, that you fund me for all the money for me to create my art, for me have a chance to do the Cambodia opera, the Kompasa, Cambodia musical, the Kanye, also Cambodia mass dance, the Concall. I appreciate all of you, even you're not here, I say thank you. And I'd like to thank you, all the people in my life, my student, my dance partner, everybody that helped me get to here today. And all you know who you are, and I appreciate. Thank you. Thanks again, everybody.
Let's have another round of applause for the 2024 National Heritage Fellows. Thank you to everyone here for joining us for this really beautiful and meaningful celebration. And to the fellows, thank you for sharing your talent, your dedication, and for your generosity. Please know that a grateful nation celebrates you. And now I'm going to turn things over to Aaron Whaler.
So we've come to the conclusion of the ceremony. I want to thank again 2008 National Heritage Fellow, Dr. Michael White. His composition tonight was titled Heritage Bounce and composed especially for this occasion. A little bit of business. Guests who received the reception invitation may please proceed to the Great Hall for check-in. I'd like to invite the other members of the Zuni Oya Maidens up on stage for some photographs and to receive their medals. To all of you here and at home watching, thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.